Hello friends, today we are going to learn how to stream to Facebook or YouTube using OBS Studio. OBS Studio is a broadcaster software and it is also a free and open source software, and this offers a lot of features to record your video or to stream your webcam, or you add multimedia into your streaming. So this open broadcaster software is a very popular software that is used by many broadcasters in YouTube and Facebook and elsewhere. So this is a free to download software, and the first thing you are going to do is to download OBS. So you can go to obsproject.com and you can choose your operating system over here, and then it'll start downloading. So I already have OBS Studio downloaded and installed on my machine, and I'm going to show you how to use OBS Studio to do a Facebook live stream and what are some basic features that you are typically going to use in a webcast in Facebook or YouTube. So I'm going to open OBS Studio over here. I already have one OBS Studio instance open. In fact, I'm using OBS Studio to record this video. So I'm going to open one more session of OBS, one more instance of OBS Studio. It's just giving me a warning that OBS is also already running. I'm going to click on launch anyway. And the first time when you're going to open OBS Studio, or anytime you are going to open the first instance of OBS Studio, it won't give you this warning. It'll just open right away. So I'm going to click on launch right away. And I can see that I have a new instance of OBS Studio open here, and I'm just going to remove this over here. So the first time when you open this, you are not going to see anything here. This is how it's going to look. When you open your OBS for the first time, this is how it's going to look. And you can notice some things here, and you can pay attention to certain things in this screen. So the first thing you want to notice is that you have a canvas. Yeah. So the first thing you're going to notice is that you have a canvas over here, and which this is going to be your canvas, and this is going to be your workspace, and this is what is going to go into your live streaming. So whatever you put on this place over here is what your audience is going to see when you go live. And coming to this part over here, you can see that there is one scene by default added into this scene section, and there is nothing over here in the sources section. And over here you have an audio mixer section, and you can see you have two things over here. And when you open it, this will be unmuted by default, but I'm going to mute it. So this is your desktop audio. We'll come to this later on. I'll tell you what these things are and which ones to mute and which ones to unmute. So the mic from which I'm talking from, that is the mic here, and you can see that it's going up and down. It's going to the right and it's going back to zero, going back to the left, and so on. Because I'm speaking, this is the volume level it's actually showing. And these are the scene transitions. We are not going to cover these in today's tutorial. These are something you can make use of when you get a hang of OBS software. So over here, these are the important things that you need to pay attention to, which is that these are the controls. So from here you have a button that says start streaming, and there is streaming, and there is also, and you also see that there is another button called start recording, studio mode settings, and so on. So let's first go to settings and see how the settings look like. But before we do that, we need to configure the OBS Studio. So to do that, let's go to tools, and then let's go to this auto configuration wizard. So what auto configuration wizard does for you is that instead of you manually updating the settings, it'll provide the settings for you, and it'll configure your OBS Studio in such a way that you have the best settings that suit your computer's configuration, and whether it is either streaming or recording. So for now, I'll optimize for streaming. because we are going to see we are going to use OBS for streaming. So I just click on next, and over here you can see that there is a base canvas resolution and frames per second, which is the FPS. So I'm going to use the current one. If you want to change, you can change it, but I'm going to use 1920 by 1080 over here. You can also use 1280 by 720. It's your wish, but I'm going to let it be, in the use current default option. And for FPS, I'm going to let it be at the default value for time being, and we are going to come to this later on, depending on how the auto configuration wizard works out. And I'm going to click on next. And the service over here, I'm going to use Facebook Live. You can use a lot of things here. If you look at it, you have YouTube as your streaming service, and you have Facebook. You also have Twitch, and so on. So for now, I'm going to use Facebook Live. And this stream key is something that you need to put from your live studio. Now we are going to see how to get your stream key and put it over here. So I'm going to open my Facebook, and if you look at it, I can actually go and create a live video. So I'll just click on this to create the live video, and clicking on that will take me to the live producer. Now this is something that will work only from a desktop. If you want to, so I'm just not allowing the camera over here because I don't need to use camera at the live from browser. We are going to uh, give our feed from OBS Studio. So this, as I was saying, this live producer will work only from desktop. You can try opening this URL from your mobile device, but it won't. It will just stop there. So this right now this works only from your desktop. So you need to have a desktop to open this live producer. And over here we see a bunch of options. So I'll just pay attention to this area over here. I'm just scrolling down. This is my Facebook profile, and there's an option where to share the live video. So you can either share to a page you are owner of, or you're an admin of, or you manage, and then you can also share in a group, or you can share your timeline. I'm just going to leave it share your timeline. And since this is a test stream, I'm not going to stream it to public. So this is the privacy setting over there. And you click that, you have a bunch of options here. So you can either show your broadcast to your friends, or you can also show it to your specific friends. Or if you have a custom list of your friends, you can also choose that custom list. If you have it prepared in your Facebook, you can use that. But for now, I'm only going to use only me because this is a test stream and I just want to show you how it works. For now, I'm not going to set up this because I just want the stream key to put into OBS. So in the get started section, right now the use cameras is the selected default choice. I'm going to change it. I'm going to select use stream key. And I'm not going to change any other options over here. And I mean, it says use a persistent stream key. I'm not going to select it. You can just let it be. And in the live stream setup, there is the server URL, and there is also the stream key. Now this stream key is what we are going to copy and put it in OBS. Now you can just hit copy and it gets copied, and once it gets copied, that tick mark comes, and then I'll just go to OBS and put my stream key over here. I've just pasted it. I'll just hit Control V, and you can also click on show to just to make sure that the stream key is right. It seems right. There is 102205 and so on. So that's okay. I mean, it'll paste anyway. And I'm just I'm going to leave these default options in this way. I'm not going to change it for the auto configuration. I'll just click on next. So as you can see, what it does is this auto configuration wizard, it just sends some a stream of data using the stream key. It'll try to stream on your Facebook and then see what are the best settings for you. So I'm just click on yes over here, and then it'll take a bit of time. So as you can see, it's sending this random noise that you can see on the canvas. So to estimate what are the best settings for you. Let's just wait till it finishes. Okay, now it has finished, and you can see, it has determined some settings, but I mean, because of the resolution, because of, the size of the screen, and we are not able to see it properly. So you can just go to the corner, and once you get this diagonal arrow, you can just expand. And as you can see, I have, uh, the bitrate has went to this like 4000, and then the base resolution is okay, and then output scale resolution has gone to 1280 by 720, which is, this is HD resolution, and also frames per second it has adjusted to 60. So I'm going to click on apply settings here, and whatever the auto configuration wizard has configured for you, you can just see that now in the settings. You click on settings and the settings come up. You have a lot of options here when you are streaming, and you can see, that when there is a stream is started, you can check whether, you want a confirmation dialog or not, and when you're stopping stream, you want a confirmation dialog or not. This is handy. I've just selected these two, and then let's look at other options now. There is a stream, and the service that you have set up is what will come over here. So the stream key is also copied into here. And if you look at output, so this is where let's pay some attention here, and let's look at the bitrate, video bitrate. It says 4300 kbps. So this is something around 4 mbps is the video bitrate we got, and the audio bitrate is 128. Now the thing here is, the auto configuration wizard, it will find the best settings for your computer, for your computer configuration, for your whatever your hardware is. Now I'm going to look at what are the video format guidelines that Facebook itself has. So if I look at it, the recommended maximum bitrate is 4000 kbps for video, and we can see that it has exceeded a bit. So I'm just going to set it for 4000. I'm not going to add it more. And your encoder, typically it will come as software for you here if you have an Intel machine. If you have an AMD processor machine like I have, uh, even then you'll also have software, but I have installed a plugin for OBS that will use my AMD hardware for encoding, so that's why it's coming as hardware AMD for me. But you can just leave it at software if that is what is showing in your OBS. You can just leave it there. There won't be any problem. And the audio bitrate, I can see it is 128 here, and the Facebook recommended setting is either 96 or 128, which is fine for me because 128 is the recommended audio bitrate among the maximum. This is what is compatible with my machine. And over here, in the recording quality, you can by default it will be set same as stream. You can change it. You can just change it to indistinguishable quality large file size if you want, because when you are streaming, you can also record in parallel. And if your stream is not good, if you have any connection issues, or if your internet bandwidth was not good at the time of streaming, you can also have a local copy in your machine of the video that you have made. That video will be stored. So if you put it as same as stream, if you have any lags in your stream, a video with the same lags will be stored in your computer. Instead of that, if you use this indistinguishable quality, which is a large file size, then even if your live stream was not good, if you want to provide a video for upload later on, you can just use the video that got, that was recorded from your OBS. And I'll leave the recording format as MKV here. And if you want to just convert it, you can do it in OBS itself. And encoder, I'm going to leave it as X264. This I'm not going to change. And in the audio, I can see, sample rate is 44 kilohertz, and which is fine. I mean, that's the standard one. And just I'm going to compare with the recommended settings and the settings that OBS has given me. And over here in the devices, the desktop audio, I have just put it I've just selected my earphones here. And if you look at it, you also can see the speakers and any other virtual audio devices you have in your on your machine. You can see them here. I'm going to leave it as headset earphones because this is the desktop audio. And the other thing that you need to pay attention to is this mic. So you can have a list of audio input devices to your that you can include in your OBS Studio. And Right now I have disabled other microphones over here. The 2, 3, 4 you can see are disabled. I just selected disabled here. But if you look at the first microphone, I've put it as headset microphone, which is the microphone of the earphones that I'm using. You can also use the microphone array on your desktop. Any microphone that you have plugged into your computer will appear here. So you can choose any mic you want. Let's move on to video. And here you can see that the base resolution. Now this is the canvas resolution, and this, as we have seen, is the canvas, this black screen over here. So that canvas resolution is 1920 by 1080, and the aspect ratio is 16:9, and the output scale resolution that the auto configuration wizard has chosen for us is 1280 by 720. Now if I compare that with the recommended audio settings, video format guidelines for Facebook stream, it says the maximum resolution is 720p, which is 1280 by 720 at 30 fps is what it has recommended for us. So 1280 by 720 is what our auto config wizard has also given to us, so we are okay. Sometimes if you're if you, so all these settings are, I mean, the auto configuration wizard, it computes based on your computer's hardware. And for instance, say for example, it doesn't give you 1280 by 720, but it gives you something lower than that. If it gives an output resolution which is lower than that, then just ensure that the 16:9 aspect ratio is maintained. So for example, for 1280 by 720 and 1920 by 1080, these two are HD resolutions, and they maintain the same 16:9 aspect ratio. But if but if you don't have a good graphic card, or if your output scale resolution, if you want it to be lower, you can use this 852 by 480. Okay, and but aspect ratio is 71:40. So probably you can use some of the others. You can probably use 640 by 360, which also maintains the same aspect ratio. So the reason you want to maintain the aspect ratio between the canvas and the output resolution is because whatever you are going to put on the canvas, the same thing will come to your live. So, and if the aspect ratio is different between these two, what you put on the canvas will be distorted when it goes to the stream. So just make sure you maintain the same aspect ratio. You can select any of these resolutions, and you can ensure that the aspect ratio is maintained. And for 960 by 540 also, the aspect ratio is maintained. So I'm just going to leave it at 1280 by 720. And you can also configure hotkeys if you want. We are not going to do that now. And in the advanced, I don't think you need to pay much attention in the beginning to any of the advanced features. But as you get more proficient in using OBS Studio, and based on what you want to stream and how you want to stream, you can use any of the advanced options. So I'll just go through it again. So in general, I just selected these two options over here because I want to see a confirmation when the stream starts and the stream stops. Did not do anything apart from here. And in the stream, I just put the Facebook Live, and the stream key automatically came from the auto config wizard. And in the output, I just ensured that the recommended guidelines of Facebook video are met over here. And if you see that you are exceeding the recommended guidelines that uh, Facebook live stream has, you can also downgrade. There is no problem in that. Say for example, in the video, the FPS, the frames per second, is set to 60 by the auto configuration wizard. But if I look at the recommended settings, uh, I have we have 30 FPS. That is a maximum. So there is no point in putting 60 over here. I'll just save my computer's resources, and I'll just put 30 over here. So this is the change that I made. So I'll just click on OK, and the settings will be saved. Now let's see how you can put your webcam and also any images that you want to put. So as we have seen before, there is this section called sources in your OBS Studio. You can see that we don't have any sources added here. Now we are going to add some sources. You can click on this plus button over here, and that'll open up a list of source types that you can add. You can add an audio input capture, you can add a mic, you can add a microphone over here, you can add a speaker over here, which is your audio output. You can just cast, you can just add a browser window, any browser that you have opened. You also have a display capture, which will basically adds your desktop screen into OBS. Now let's just add our video capture device. This video capture device is what I'm going to add now. You can just give any name you want in the create new. I'm just giving it as my webcam. Okay. And then just keep this default. By default it'll check this make source visible option. Click on OK. Now you can see that this properties window has opened up, and on the screen we see this red border in some in some area of this canvas. Now the device that you see over here, this is your webcam, and this is one webcam that I have in my computer, and this is the other one that which I have plugged in, which we are going to use. So I'm going to select the HD Pro webcam. Now when you install OBS, you may not see these all these other 4 OBS cameras, and that's okay. I have a plugin installed, that's why you see these, but you won't see this if you just install your OBS without this plugin, so that's okay. You'll only see the list of webcams that are plugged into your computer. I'm going to select HD Pro webcam, and I have selected this, and as you can see, my image comes up in the properties and also on the canvas, but this size is not acceptable to us. We want a bigger picture. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change some properties. And if you just pay attention to this, you see the resolution FPS type, and it is set to device default. I'm going to change this. So let's change it to custom. And when you change that, you can change the resolution, FPS, and everything. Now I'm going to change the resolution. So as we have seen before, our canvas is 1920 by 1080, and my webcam is also a 1080p, has a 1080p recording. So I'm going to use 1920 by 1080. If your webcam has 720p recording, you can use 1280 by 720. That's okay. I'm just going to use this. Now you can see that my video feed from the webcam has occupied the entire canvas, which is what we want. And we can resize this later on. I've just changed it to 1080p now, and you can see that whether any action that you are performing on the webcam is appearing instantly or not. For example, I'm just moving my hand. I just waved my hand pretty fast, and I can see that it's instantaneous. I can see that on OBS, so there is no lag over there. So this is a check that you can do, so that you are not um, bringing your computer into any performance issue. So that's okay. That's okay for us. And FPS, I'm just going to leave it at match output FPS. I don't need to change anything. And video format is also fine for us. And I'm not going to change any of the other options. I just wanted to change the resolution 1080. That's why I changed this to custom, so that I can edit this. And I'm just clicking on OK. And as you can see, you can see my image over in that canvas. And if you start the streaming now, this is what your audience is going to see. So let's just explore some options, what you can do with your video source. Now, I don't want only my image to come, and I don't want all these other areas to come. So all these things I just want to crop. So I'm going to do that right away. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now you can right click on this source, and you can see a big menu getting opened up. And over here, if you want to resize it, you can resize in any which way you want. I'll show you how to resize. Now you click on the source, and this red border comes up. This red border is the border of your source. You can just go to a corner. You can just drag it over here. So I just dragged it, but I'm going to resize it. So in this way, you can resize it. See, I have resized, and I can move my image around the canvas. But I don't want to do this. I just want to crop these things. I don't want this exact this entire frame to go into my video. So I'm just going to reset this, and one simple way to do that is right click on webcam on your source, go to transform, and you can just click fit to screen. So this will just fit your image to the screen. Now I'm going to crop this image. So to do that, right click on your source and go to filters. And in the filters, you can see, there are a bunch of filters on the audio video filters. I mean, if you can just click plus if you want to do any audio filtering on your webcam microphone, you can do that. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not using my webcam microphone to do the streaming. I'm going to use this mic on my uh, headphone. So I'm not going to do anything over here. And in the effects filter, just click on plus. You can see there are some effects that you can put. You can so there are many options over here. We are not going to go through everything over here. I'm just going to show you how to crop it. So I'll just click on this crop slash pad. You can just specify the name, but I'm not going to do anything. I'll just keep this default. If you look at it, just keep this relative checked, and you can pretty much trim left, right, top and bottom. So I'm just going to give 300 over here, and you can just drag it over here and you can see how the frame is looking. 300 is not good. I want more trimming, so I'll just put 600 from the left. This looks all right for me. And also on the right, I'm also going to trim 600 on the right. So you can see the frame in the preview and also on the canvas. This is what I want for now. So I'm just keeping it in this way. I'm just click on close. And so what I want is I want to resize this, which I'm going to do now. Oops. Yeah, just I'm going to resize this. I'm just going to put it to the right. You can change this if you want. Okay, you can click on this and this comes up, and this looks all right. If you don't click on relative, then it gets screwed up. So just click on relative. I'm just closing this, and now I have my cropped image over here, which is what I want. So I'll just put it in this way. You can just exceed your canvas. That's okay, because I want this to to go to the extreme right. So this looks okay for me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put image over here. So this is pretty straightforward. You can just choose an image that you want, or you can also have an image slideshow. I'm just going to add an image. I'll click new and create and put an image. Now when you when you look at this properties, you can just give any image file that you want, and you click on browse and it will open your local machine. So right, you can pretty much give anything. So over here, I'm going to give an image. I'm going to give this. So now you look at this. This image, Earth. This image of Earth is actually exceeding our canvas. So I'm going to resize it, in the same way. Oops. Okay, click on this. If you want to, resize it much effectively, you can just choose to, hide the webcam for now by clicking on this eye, and then now you can resize it very easily. Okay, I'm just going to transform and then I'll just fit it to the screen so you can see this. Now I'll just put the webcam over here. Now I can see that I have the image here and I also have my webcam coming up. So I can just rearrange this image as I want. I can also resize it in the way I want. See, I'm able to resize it. So this is how you can do that. Now say if you have a banner, and these red borders, they are not going to come on your stream. You can just click somewhere else and they'll disappear anyway. So if you look at it, I've just added my feed and I cropped it and I've added an image. Say if you have a banner, that goes to the bottom, over here. Or if you have any logo that you want to put at any of the corners, you can just add images in this way. So this is a very basic setup that you can do on OBS. Now we can go and we can just start the streaming over here. And before we do that, I want you to pay attention to the audio. So as we have seen, we have the desktop audio enabled, all right, and which is muted, which I have muted before, because I don't want to have any sounds other than my microphone. Now what desktop audio gives you is that it'll just add any audio that is being played on your machine, or more specifically on your sound card. It'll just add that into OBS. So we don't want that. I mean, if I want to play a music in the background, I can just enable desktop audio and I can keep playing that music in the background. But I don't want to do that right now. So that's the reason I have unmuted it. So sorry, I have muted it. Now the second audio source that you are seeing here is the microphone. So this is the microphone that I've plugged, that the microphone that I'm using on my headphones. This is the microphone, and is and you can see that when I'm speaking, the level goes, the level keeps increasing and decreasing and so on. And the third one is, since we have added the webcam in the source, the audio, any audio, if your webcam has a microphone, which many webcams do, that will also come up in your audio mixer. Now I don't want the audio from webcam to come in, so I'm going to mute it. Now this will ensure that the webcam, the audio that is captured by the microphone of my webcam does not come into the OBS feed. The reason you want to mute all the other audio sources inputs that you are not going to use is because if you have multiple audio sources, it can cause a feedback loop, and it can actually lead to echo. So that is the reason you want to mute all the audio inputs apart from the ones that you are actually using, that you want to use. So I'm just putting this as my only audio input. Now for our purposes, we are ready with the configuration. Now we can just start the streaming. So before doing that, just go to settings and just ensure the stream key is correct. So I'll just go to the live producer again, and I'll just copy the stream. So even even now I'm just keeping the privacy setting to only me, because I don't want to broadcast this to anyone. So I'm just going to copy the stream key again, and I'm going to just put it over here. Okay, just click on OK. And now I'll just start the streaming. And there is one option that you can enable by default, where when you start streaming, it will also start recording. So that's actually a good option to put. So go to settings, and in general, you can choose this option over here, automatically record while streaming. So you don't need to click start recording again. You can just click start streaming and it will start recording. So and you can just ensure that you don't check the keep recording when stream stops, because when you stop the streaming, you want the recording to be stopped as well. So I'm just selecting this, and anyway I've put the confirmation dialogues over here. That's okay. So I'm just click on OK, and you can now just click on start streaming. And when you do that, it gave me a confirmation because I've enabled that option that I showed you before. I'm clicking on yes, and you can see that it also has automatically started the recording. I haven't done anything over here, and you can see that it's streaming has started. Now if you go to your Facebook video, you can see that the feed has come up over here. So you are actually good to go now. So you are the stream from the video feed from your OBS has it's actually it went into the Facebook stream. Now you just need to go live. Click on go live. Before doing that, I'll just give a video title. I'm just going to give this title, and I can just give any description you want. Okay. So just click on go live. you can see that we are actually live. We did go live. It's went live for like 5, 6, 8 seconds and so on. So it's also showing that I'm live. Now, when you're doing this, it's good practice to keep track of the performance of your computer so that it won't crash. So that you can close the browser. You can now actually you can go ahead and close the browser if you want. The stream will keep going. So whatever we have given as input, that will keep going. Now to do that is how to do that. You just go to your taskbar, right click on this and click on Task Manager, and you can see how your performance is faring. So I have two instances of OBS Studio open. One instance is where I'm actually doing this recording. So that's the reason, the CPU is at 65% and I think the memory is 69. This is decent. The browser Firefox is, it's, taking only 380 MB. But if you just keep this open, it may, if you are doing a live video for live streaming for like half an hour or more, even if you do it for like 15 minutes or more, the memory that's being consumed keeps increasing. So you can see that even now, it's just increasing here and there. So you may want to close the browser window if you want to do that. So this is one way, you want to keep track of your computer's performance. I'm actually running it on a high load now. I have like two OBS Studios instances open, and I have a browser open. I'm actually going live on OBS. Now, we are going to end the live video now. We are just going to stop this. And the way to end the live video, you can either click end live video over here, or you can just stop the streaming over here, and the video stream will stop, and Facebook live video will be ended automatically. So I'm just going to stop the streaming. Okay. And it gave me the dialog button. I'll just click on yes, and it has stopped the streaming. Now, if I go to Facebook, see my live video has been ended. So that's okay. Now I'll just go and look at the post, my live video. I'll just look at the browser, and I'll also look at how the recording has come up. So I don't know if you're able to hear the audio, but it's actually pretty good. The audio is pretty good, and even the video, and my transitions are coming fast. They are okay. So the live video went fine. And as you can see, we can see the frame, how it looks. So I'm just closing this. And now I'm going to show you how to look at, how to view your recording. So it's very straightforward. You just go to File, and then you can click on Show Recordings. If you click on Show Recordings, it will just take you to the folder where it's getting recorded. So this is our recording. It has the timestamp and everything embedded into it. So it's an MKV file, and then it's like 30 MB. So I'll just show you this. This is good. I don't think you will be able to hear the audio because I'm not, I haven't added the desktop input in the OBS, that I'm recording. So this is where I'm recording, and I have, disabled the desktop audio. I'll just enable it for you so that you can hear it. And you can see that, it also has 5%, and I think the memory is, I think it looks all right. So this is how you can do that. And now you can see your video has been recorded in MKV format, and if you want to edit that, you can't do video editing directly in MKV. So if you want to convert it, you can easily do that. You can just click on File, go to Remux Recordings, and here you can just give your OBS recording. I'm going to give this file, and then on the target, it'll just remux to MP4. That's okay. I mean, I'm just going to keep the name the same, or I'll just put it as, I'm just appending it with a name called Remux. And I'll just click on Remux, and it's done. Now, once this is done, I can just again show recordings, and you can see that I have two files here. This is an MKV file, and this is an MP4 file. So this file is also 33 MB. So it has just remuxed this into MP4. And this file you can just use to edit your video. If you want to upload that, you can do it. So this is how you can use OBS to stream to Facebook or YouTube. Even in YouTube, the settings are the same. You just need to get your stream key from YouTube using your live manager over in YouTube, and you can just paste that stream key over here. But you need to just change the service to YouTube over here. That's it, and you're good to go. So this is a basic setup of OBS. You put your webcam and you crop your video, and then you also put an image. You can also put a slideshow over here. You can just give a folder and just use as image slideshow, and you can um, go live. So this so I hope you have enjoyed this quick tutorial, and I hope you'll stream good content on Facebook and YouTube using OBS. Thank you very much.